Hello everyone, I'm Troublesome Trucks and welcome to a new episode of Crash City. Today we're kind of doing a crossover between Crash City Requested and Crash City Special Edition because we just passed a new subscriber milestone. We just hit 800 subscribers recently, so thank you all very much for that. So we're going to be doing an extended Crash City Requested episode. So we have a request from Friday Night Funkin' at GD and more, and they requested an 11 engine free-for-all with tank engines, and we got Thomas, Percy, Stepney, Arthur, Charlie, Lady, Rosie, Stanley, Proteus, Whiff, and Billy. So we got 11 engines total, and it'll be the best out of 9 rounds. So without further ado, let's get them ready for round 1 and let the chaos reign. Alright, and we're ready for round 1, and again, this is a free-for-all, so everyone for themselves. So we got Rosie going first, and now we got Percy. This might also get pretty crazy, pretty fast, but we'll just try and do our best. So Billy's out now, Stanley. Next up, we're going to go with Thomas. Then here goes Lady. So Arthur is flying with Stanley. Stanley's off the tracks. Arthur and Billy and Thomas are in a mess. Oh, Rosie got derailed by the points. We'll get her back on. That wasn't really her fault. Lady and Thomas and Stanley are down now. Arthur and Percy have a collision. Billy's trying to go on his own. And finally, Stepney is the last one out. Billy's still kind of going on his side. Oh my goodness, we got Stepney and Proteus trying to squeeze through from the mess. And wow, those engines are really loud, but we got a huge mess on the tracks. Everyone's off the tracks pretty much. Stepney's the only one that's mostly on the tracks. I don't really know what happened. Their engines just kept falling off the tracks. Thomas kind of blocking the tracks. I'm not quite sure what was going on. It was kind of hard to keep up. Oh my goodness, instead Stepney kind of just pushed through and knocked Proteus off the tracks. But we got Proteus, Billy, and Percy all somewhat on the tracks, but they're derailed. Stepney was the last engine out of the gate, so I think he was the last one moving. Billy was trying to do some stuff in the corner, but I don't think it's enough to earn him the point, so I think we're going to go with Stepney for the first round. Bluebell engine, number 55, we're going to give him the first point. That was a pretty close one. What a messy start for the first round, and it's probably only going to get crazier from here, so buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Alright, and round 2, Stepney goes first because he won the last round, just barely though, but he still got it. Then we got Charlie going next. Finally, there goes Whiff, Thomas. Now we got Proteus. Stepney has collided with Charlie on the crosstrack. Charlie is down. Stepney manages to make it through. We got Billy on his way out. Now Whiff is collided with Stepney. Now Stepney and Billy are collided. Stepney switched tracks. Now Billy's trying to do the same. And we got Arthur on his way out. Proteus and Stanley are off the tracks. Billy and Rosie are done for. Arthur's just pushed Lady off the tracks. Now Percy's trying to get through the cross track, but he gets hit by Whiff, and now he's trying to slip by. Oh, and he just does so before Arthur comes around the track, but gets blocked by Rosie. And Thomas is trying to make his way past Whiff. Now Percy has jammed Arthur against Stanley. And we have another jam up. We have Thomas, Arthur, and Percy in different stages of being on the tracks. Percy and Thomas are fully on the tracks, it looks like, but Whiff and Arthur are blocking them. However, Whiff and Thomas were stuck before Percy and Arthur got stuck, so I think it was Percy, the last one moving out of those engines. So, wow, was Percy the last engine out of the gate? I think he might have been. Sometimes looks like that might be helpful for some of the engines today. But, yeah, that's how it goes. So we're going to give Percy the point for round 2. So Percy and Stepney, 2 engines with points at the end of the first 2 rounds. And, yeah, it's just a big mess so far. So we'll see how it goes from here. Round 3 is up next. Okay, and round 3 is now here, and Percy will start out this round. Then we got Whiff and Rosie, Arthur, Here goes Stepney. Arthur collides with Whiff on the cross track. Stepney and Rosie are now in it as well. Whiff is off the track. Arthur goes down. Rosie's eliminated. Stepney is barely hanging on. Billy, excuse me, is trying to make his way past. Billy gets tipped over in the corner. Proteus, Percy ticks Stanley. Now Proteus is caught on Lady, and Thomas helps push Proteus through. Now Charlie is derailed on Stanley. Thomas manages to get through the blockage with the help of Percy. And Thomas is trying to correct himself, but it looks like it's no good, and now Percy got slightly off balance with Lady and is now stuck on the tracks. However, I think Percy might have won this round anyway. He's stuck on the cross track, but Charlie got blocked by Stanley in the back there, so Charlie was there for a while, and Percy only just got derailed, so I think Percy might just have got a back-to-back win, so that's pretty impressive considering there are 11 engines, and now he's already on 2 points in the first 3 rounds, but yeah, well done at Percy. Fair play, you got that one as well. So Percy takes the lead after round 3, and then Stepney has won, and otherwise all the points are 0. So yeah, well done, Percy. We'll see if maybe you can actually win this, but we still got a lot of game left to play. Alright, and round 4 will again begin with Percy because he got the last round. Stepney giving chase. Stanley joins the fight. Thomas has entered the battlefield. There goes Lady. Thomas clips Stepney, but Stepney manages to go through it. Proteus get you on the tracks there. Billy's on the line. Thomas and Proteus had an altercation, but they seem to be fine. Everyone's going good so far. Percy and Stepney take down Stanley and Arthur. Now Billy's blocked on the track. Still have more engines left. There goes Rosie. And finally Whiff. Oh my goodness, a major crash and oh my goodness, Lady's still going. Proteus and Whiff are trying to get past each other. Oh my goodness. Lady's still going around the side of the track there. Even with her front wheels off, she is just giving it all she's got. Proteus is kind of doing something, but mostly just fell over. That was a big crash. There was like 5 or 6 engines just in a mess on that cross track. Complete destruction. But Lady managed to, I think she might have switched tracks and actually got out of it pretty well, so she was the last one going. Whiff and Proteus are kind of stuck on the cross track, but they didn't really do much after that, so I think this one might go to Lady. So well done, Lady. You are now on the board, tied with Stepney for second place. So at least they got a point on the board. Probably a lot of engines won't get points on the board today, but hopefully we'll get a good spread of engines. So Lady is now one of the engines on points on the board. Only 3 engines so far, but Percy still remains in the lead as round 5 is inbound. And round 5 is here. Lady is heading out of the gates after a previous victory. Billy joins her. There goes Proteus. Now Rosie on there. Charlie. Rosie and Billy have a crash on the first cross track. Rosie's trying to recover. Billy looks like he's pretty much out. Rosie and Proteus fall down. Whiff has his front wheels off. Now Lady's trying to take out Percy, but gets taken down herself. Now Whiff has caught the back of Thomas. Arthur gets past, and now Whiff is still derailed. Stanley will round out the lineup. So we have 6 engines left. Now Percy and Thomas have their front wheels off. Stepney's collided with Whiff. Oh, Stepney's actually put Whiff back on the tracks. No way, what a recovery from Whiff. Thomas and Arthur fell over in the background. Now Stanley and Percy are stuck on the cross track, and Whiff gets jammed up on the derailed Stepney. Oh my goodness, what a outcome. I was not expecting this. Whiff was derailed for most of it, but Stepney actually sacrificed himself to save Whiff. Thomas and Arthur fell over in the back corner, and now we just have 3 engines just jammed on the tracks. Percy is caught up on Stanley, and Whiff is caught up on Stepney as well. I think Whiff was actually the last one going though, so I think he will take this round. So that was actually a pretty close one. Well done, Whiff. Had a little bit of help from Stepney, but still pretty well played. So now Whiff, the garbage engine, is now on the board. So yeah, I don't think Whiff is on the board too much. So good to see him representing. So Whiff, Lady, and Stepney on 1 point apiece, and Percy on 2, and the other tank engines all 0. So yeah, Whiff takes round 5. Off we go to round 6. Alright, and now we are halfway through the competition, but anyone can still win this. Still got 4 rounds left, including this one. So Whiff went first, then Thomas, Stepney, Arthur, and now Stanley. Thomas has caught Whiff. Stepney is going to try and give him some backup. Now Stanley has caught Stepney. Thomas has fallen over. Whiff escaped. Stepney is down. There goes Stanley and Arthur. Whiff has already made it back around, and we still have a bunch of engines left to get out of the gate. Whiff and Percy collide. Now Rosie gets turned over. Charlie's trying to get past Billy. It rounds out. We got Proteus and Lady still going. Now they're about to hit Billy. Oh my goodness, Billy gets rammed off the tracks, and Proteus tips over now, and Lady is the only one left standing. What a mess that is. Look at those engines all piled deep all over the place. That is complete carnage. Billy, Proteus, and Lady were the last ones going, and then Proteus and Billy collide with each other. And I think the Lady managed to get the best out of that one. So Lady is going to get a point, and she already has a point. So now we have a two-way tie for first place between Percy and Lady. So that's going to be interesting. Might need to have a tiebreaker or something at the end. We'll see. We've still got a couple more rounds left, so there's time for those two to get ahead of one another, or maybe some other engines to also catch up. So yeah, Lady is now looking to overtake the throne, and we'll see what Percy does to counter this. Round 6 is next. Or not round 7, excuse me. Alright, this is now round 7. This would usually be the last round, but we're doing extra rounds today for the occasion. So, yeah, a couple more rounds left to get points on the board, but Lady and Percy are neck and neck right now. So, we'll see. Hopefully we can get a couple more engines with points on the board, but Thomas got eliminated by Arthur. Now Arthur and Lady are derailed, and Charlie has caught the side of Billy. We have a jam up as engines keep piling up, trying to get their way through. Oh my goodness, they finally did. Arthur and Lady go down. Proteus, Whiff, Billy, Charlie, Stanley, I don't know if I said M, are down. Percy manages to clear Stepney out of the way mostly, and now we only have Percy and Rosie left. Those are the last two engines out of the gate, and now they're the only ones left. That was a huge mess. It took all them engines just to get Billy and Charlie out of the way. But now Rosie and Percy, the only ones that remain. Percy could win this round and take a lead again, and it looks like he has a good chance. Rosie just derailed herself from pushing Percy too much, so she could possibly get back on the tracks when Percy comes back around, and because that's happened to Stepney and Whiff earlier. But we'll see if Rosie can save herself. Otherwise, Percy could take the victory here after this. And Percy is coming back around, and here we go, and crashed in the side of Rosie, and is spinning his wheels, and it looks like Percy's actually derailed himself, and Rosie saves it. Wow, that's unfortunate for Percy. He could have just pushed her right off the tracks, but had it lined up just right to put her wheels back on the tracks. Not a full correction, but it was enough to derail Percy and set herself on the tracks long enough to be the last one moving. So yeah, that was actually a big brain move from Rosie. So Rosie now on the board now. She takes the win for round 7. And Percy doesn't win that, so Percy and Lady are still tied, and a three-way tie for second place. And then Thomas, Arthur, Charlie, Stanley, Proteus, and Billy still have 0 points, so maybe they can try and get a score on the board in the last 2 rounds. But yeah, that was a crazy round. Well done, Rosie. Let's go to round 8, the penultimate round. Alright, 7 rounds have already gone by, only 2 remain, so we're running out of time for the engines to score points, and we currently have a tie for first place, so that's going to be interesting. but see how that works out. But Rosie went first, and we got all the other engines going. Now Whiff is trying to take down Rosie, but he gets clipped by Charlie, and Whiff looks pretty derailed. Rosie's trying to save herself. Now Percy just switched tracks. Rosie's off now. Oh my goodness, we have a huge mess. Engines just going all over the place. Charlie and Stanley go down. Arthur and Proteus eliminate each other. Stepney and Billy are still blocking the tracks. Lady rounds it out. Thomas manages to push his way through the blockage. Percy has caught the back of Lady. Now Thomas crashes into the side of her. Stepney is trying to destroy the tracks. What chaos once again. But Thomas and Lady, the only two left on the tracks. And Percy actually blocked Lady, so Thomas was able to block her and try to knock her over, but wasn't able to do so. But I think Percy just saved himself from losing possibly, because he stopped Lady. So now I think Thomas will get the point. So that means Lady doesn't get the point. So Lady can't pass Percy, but Thomas is now on the board. So we still have a tie between Percy and Lady as we head into the final round. Then Thomas, Stepney, Rosie, and Whiff all tying for second on 1 point apiece. So, yeah, there's a lot of different outcomes for round 9, but we'll have to see which one holds true. Alright, this might be the last round, but Percy and Lady are still tied, and then a bunch of the other engines could tie with them as well, so we might need to do a tiebreaker or another round of some kind after this, but probably the last official round. So Thomas goes out first to Billy and Lady. Now Lady is caught on the side of Thomas, and this looks like it's going to be bad. We got already 4 engines locked up in this. Now Percy and Rosie are coming out. We have backed up almost all the way to the switch. Rosie's off the track. Oh my goodness, for Thomas is just not tipping over. And now Whiff is out. Oh my goodness, and Proteus and Arthur fall over. And Stanley. And finally, last engine, Charlie. Oh my goodness, what destruction. Whiff, Proteus, Rosie, Stanley, and Arthur just got shoved off the tracks at the curve. They had nowhere to go, but Thomas got hit by Lady, and now they're all just... Lady's caught on Thomas's side rods, and they just can't tip him over, even with all that force. Thomas is just refusing to give up. So they just got 6 engines all on the tracks, but none of them can go anywhere. So Charlie was the last one going, and I don't think anything's going to change. So Charlie is going to take the final round, round 9. But the competition isn't over because Percy and Lady are still tied on 2. So we'll be right back at the final tiebreaker to declare the winner. Alright, so all the 9 rounds, this whole competition, it comes down to this. Percy on the left and Lady on the right, both on 2 points. So whoever wins this will win it all. So 3, 2, 1, go. Start your engines. And look, Lady is pushing Percy. Now Percy's trying to put up a little bit of resistance. He's right at the end of the track, and Lady falls down and pins him to the ground. So it looks like Lady is going to take this strongest engine match and almost lands on her wheels, it looks like. But yeah, Lady is the strongest of the 2, so she will finish out this competition with a win. So well done, Lady. Let's get them in the middle for a final recap and photo shoot. And the winner of this special Crash City requested episode number 186 will be Lady. So, yeah, it was a pretty close matchup at the end between Lady and Percy. Percy started pretty well in the beginning, and Lady caught up, and we had to do a tiebreaker. But Lady ended up winning it, so she finished on 3 points. Then Percy second place on 2 points, and then we have a 5-way tie for third place. 1 point each. We have Whiff, Charlie, Stepney, Thomas, and Rosie, and then 4 engines who unfortunately didn't score any points. We got Stanley, Arthur, Billy, and Proteus. So yeah, still got like over half the engines competing and got points on the board, which is a lot better than I thought we would do. So yeah, glad to see most of the engines that did get points, and pretty close finale as well. So great to see you. So there is the final scoreboard. So yeah, Lady will win today's episode. So yeah, congratulations to her, and thank you everyone else for taking part. Pretty crazy episode. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And once again, thanks for 800 subscribers. I don't know why it's out of focus, but yeah. Thank you for 800 subscribers. I really appreciate it. So yeah, also, so I decided to do 11 engines for this. Pretty crazy, but yeah, I won't do this too often, but a couple times I think is okay. So yeah, until next time, this is Troublesome Truck signing out. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.